right. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez. Hoping you guys had an amazing, fun-filled, safe weekend. Hope you hugged your loved ones tight, got to know your neighbors a little bit more. And yeah, we'll be all right, ready to watch, the best wrestling podcast in the whole entire sports entertainment. No, I'm just kidding. No, I try my best. I try my best, Mike. Try my best. All right. So, once again, thank you for tuning into the show. We have a great show for you today on tap. Today we have our WWE Smackdown review. We're also going to talk about Monday Night Raw preview. We're going to get into some GCW, letting go of Zilla Fatu, and what it means for his future with the WWE. We're also going to talk about will WWE cut Nia Jax's title run short? Um, you know, Past WWE, it feels like, it all kind of points to the contrary and it's going to happen. It's kind of inevitable. But I don't know. I kind of don't want them to. I think Nia Jax is, she deserves the spotlight finally after kind of being on the roster, kind of floating around, being obviously the biggest, the toughest, the strongest one inside the women's locker room, and not really getting to this, not really deserving, any, she never really gets the strap put on her. You know what I mean? She doesn't get the title. She doesn't get the gold. More or less, Nia Jax is just kind of there to show that she's dominant one week, and then another week she's there. She can't win a match, and it's just based on that reputation, I feel like it's kind of in the future that Nia Jax's second title run is not going to last long. And our fifth and final segment. You guys know the show Hot Ones, when on YouTube where the guy was, where I think it's Sean Evans, I think his name is. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that. Where he interviews stars, while they're tasting these super, really like out of this world ghost pepper hot sauce on wings. And, he basically interviews them. So, he's trying to get The Rock on board. The Rock is like right there, but he had a little request, for him to be on there. This is something that Hot Ones is going to have to do. We're going to share that in our fifth segment, so make sure you do not go anywhere. But before we get on into the fun, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you're dying to get off your chest here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears 1,010%. So don't be shy. Make sure you drop those thoughts, those opinions inside that chat box. And if you really want to make sure your comment or question gets read on air and noticed, why not use that super chat? It's a $ below the chat box. Just go ahead and hit it, send it in, and your message is guaranteed to be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. Your super chats help us keep the lights on all these amazing podcasts that we have here on the network. And so we can keep bringing you guys even more awesome sports content that you guys love so dang much. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who tune in daily to the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep this podcast fun. Let's keep the party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And once again, if the super chat is not your thing, you set up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Should be your comments, questions, and concerns. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Make sure you Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network. Here at the GSMC Sports Network, we do love it out of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. But criticism's okay as well. Feedback is a gift. So don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat box, and it can make the podcast more engaging, interactive, and just all around fun. All right, so we're going to jump on into our first segment. We're going to talk about WWE Smackdown. All in all, I thought it was a good episode. Give it like a 4.5 out of 5. This time around on SmackDown, you didn't get the theme song, which I was kind of shocked because I thought that was going to grow into like like an ongoing every Friday SmackDown, you're gonna get the theme song. And I gotta love at the end, the end credits where it says executive producers. Makes me feel like I'm watching an episode of Seinfeld or something like that. But no, I'm just kidding. No, but like I don't know, like it's new. I don't think WWE's ever really kind of they've ever done that. So obviously going into this Netflix and USA Network and streaming services alive, like I think it's kind of cool. It's something new, it's something innovative, it's something different, and I can imagine that it's going to bring WWE more success than what people think. Because I don't know, then they never really have like an end credit scene, you know what I mean? That's never really actually happened. Usually you get that Raw or that SmackDown thing in like the bottom left-hand corner, of the show, meaning showing that okay, we're gonna go off air. And I don't know, just the whole, the names on the page, I think it's kind of funny. It's kind of cool. First match, we have the WWE United States Championship match between LA Knight and Andrade. All I thought it was great, great wrestling mixed with a lot of near falls and an absolute clean win. I was happy to see Carmelo Hayes didn't really, interfere. Of course, after the match, then he kind of got his 2 cents in, kind of forcing a best of seven series. I guess we're going for finding out if Carmelo Hayes is the next challenger for the LA Knights United States Championship. Is he him? Can he truly prove that he could, fight for a title on the WWE main roster? He was great on NXT, 1,010%, but it's kind of been a cliche. It's kind of been, the going, what is it, the status quo that a lot of main card NXT superstars that make it to the WWE, the main roster on SmackDown and Raw, never really have like long title reigns. You know what I mean? Like as opposed to like Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns, obviously the members of the Shield, but like names like Keith Lee, Aleister Black, Andrade, the first time, getting promoted to Raw or SmackDown never really kind of looks good. It never really comes in fruition. The success that they had in NXT never really comes on Raw or SmackDown. So to be kind of, by what WWE has done with Hayes so far, I think it's great. He's not a bad guy, but then again, he's not a good guy. He's young. He's very talented. He's definitely the future of WWE. Taking baby steps is kind of the regime under the Triple H Paul Levesque era, as opposed to the Vince McMahon era, where you just kind of toss them in there, throw them in there, and basically like a sink or swim mentality. When in fact you can actually hurt the superstar's credibility if he gets success too late or success too early. Sometimes they peak and then sometimes they kind of disappear off TV for a little bit or off on SmackDown or Raw. So the way they're handling this, I feel like I feel like they're doing pretty well. But you saw the LA Knight retain his title, so he's going to be representing the title. I hope that he has a match at Bad Blood. I doubt it, but I don't know, kind of crazy. You know, um, Moving on, we have Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. The cinematic, one-on-one confrontation at Georgia Tech. I I thought it was kind of cool. I found out it was directed by Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman should definitely be a part of the WWE creative team more often than less often. It seems like he really knows how to get a rise out of what the WWE universe tune in every Friday, Monday night, and on PLEs. It was electrifying. It was cool. Kind of had this I don't know why I kind of thought this. I'm a little dork when it comes to like directors in the movie film business. Kind of reminds me of like a Martin Scorsese. I felt like when he got in his way, kind of reminded me of like I don't know if any of you guys watched The Departed with Leonardo DiCaprio, Mark Wahlberg and who's the bad guy? Bourne, Matt Damon, Jason Bourne. No, and then I don't know, just added a little bit of you know, these guys can't trust each other. They're forced to tag team against basically the enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know what I mean? Like he's teaming up with Roman Reigns. I think this is the last you're going to see Cody Rhodes have anything to do with the bloodline, which is kind of exactly the way it should be. I want to see Cody Rhodes feud with like, someone outside of Roman Reigns. Let Roman Reigns kind of take care of his business within the bloodline, the Civil War. You're going to get everybody included, maybe Zilla Fatu, maybe Hikuleo, maybe Lance Noai, maybe perhaps The Rock. There's a lot of options out there that they can go down this road to fully and sincerely kind of build up this Civil War that a lot of fans are really banking on it to be great. Like, in my opinion, I'm really hoping that it starts out great. I'm hoping that, it lasts a pretty long time. You have this bloodline storyline with, Jimmy and Jay and Roman and everybody thought, even myself, I thought it was going to end probably, within a year and a half tops. But the way that I feel like WWE creative right now is kind of committing to their storylines. That's a huge reason why they're locking down superstars before their contracts are up, is because they kind of give people the idea of like, what could you expect from the future of WWE? as opposed to like what they used to do when they used to wait for the contracts to kind of disband, to kind of to kind of end, and then at the last minute you're kind of biting and scratching, and you're like, okay, we have to negotiate with this superstar, but they're in this storyline right now, but their potential to be champion is way better than this superstar's chance to be champion as well. So the way that they're handling this bloodline storyline, it's going to be the bank. It's going to be bank. Essentially, I don't want to put too much pressure on the storyline, but when WWE Raw goes to Netflix, most likely you're probably going to see Roman Reigns and The Rock kind of carry on after WrestleMania 41. Well, at least that's what's been reported. WWE initially told Netflix that they could have Roman Reigns and The Rock, but instead now they get No, instead they get John Cena, maybe perhaps Brock Lesnar, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre, which isn't, it's not a bad. I'm not throwing shade at those people or those amazing wrestlers. It's just the fact that I don't know. It's just if you're Netflix, I'd be kind of ticked off. You know what I mean? But I can understand a level with WWE creative. Be like, you know what? We kind of have this train moving, this freight train. Kind of, we can't really afford having it to derail at this moment. We want to finish what we're starting with this whole the bloodline, and as soon as that's done, someone's going to have to challenge Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. I think it's going to be Roman Reigns. I think, it's kind of ironic. It's kind of, poetic justice that the guy we were cheering for last year, to lose, Roman Reigns, is now going to be put in a position where fans are going to adore him. Some fans want to see the original tribal chief defeat Cody Rhodes. And so I think that would be the best for WWE. At least that's what I would do. All right, wrapping up, we're losing time on this segment. I thought it was pretty crazy, very cinematic. Roman Reigns saying, "What have you done for my city?" And they said they took my wise man, they took Jimmy, and then Cody Rhodes confronted Roman Reigns face to face and said, "Look, you have nobody. This is the first time in your career, no Shield. You know, I'm sorry to mention this, but no Vince McMahon forcing you down the WWE Universe's throat. No more Bloodline. This is the first time in Roman Reigns' career where he literally kind of has to start from scratch. He has to start from the bottom of the totem pole, climb up that ladder, kind of endure a lot of things that he never really had to because he was always put on this pedestal. And he was, not saying that he got, favoritism or anything like that because WWE does run through Roman Reigns because he's, the top superstar right off the bat. So I don't know, it's kind of crazy the way they did that. Kevin Owens backstage seems conflicted. Apollo Crews once again spoils Giovanni Vinci's second debut. I'm wondering what they're doing with Vinci at this point. I can't really, I can't really put my finger on it. Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton lose against Bayley and Naomi, both of them pinned. Now they're a one-on-one match next week this week technically on SmackDown to find out who challenges Nia Jax. Kevin Owens has to team up with the Street Profits because DIY is taken out by the Bloodline. The Bloodline, Montez Ford. I got to be honest, and I'll be very brief on this. Montez Ford is on a whole nother level, guys. Like this guy, he, if they're, if WWE wants to break up somebody to give them like a singles run, they're right now they're probably thinking Xavier Woods of the New Day. Instead keep the New Day together and find something between these Street Profits because Montez Ford, he looks like a champion. He looks like he can definitely be a part of the singles, roster. Definitely look like he could be a WWE champion. Even me saying that, he can even be United States champion. And I'm not trying to throw a shot at whoever held the WWE United States Championship, but I think that would be kind of I think that'd be kind of a downer for him if he, if he ever made it to singles competition, and if they just, okay, here's the United States Championship, there you go. He's WWE Championship material, 1,010%. Montez Ford is definitely kind of the future of WWE. Having him right now with Dawkins, which they're great. They're a great tag team. Once again, you don't really have to pit them against each other. Montez Ford could find a way to challenge for singles competition. Maybe Dawkins could find another tag team partner, or he can still continue to team with Montez Ford, even if he has a singles championship. And I know that might give a lot of people like AEW kind of feel, vibes to it. But I don't know, he's a really special superstar. And I would, anything short of him being a WWE champion in the future is it's kind of a letdown. You know what I mean? All right, next. Then you saw DIY come back after, the match ended kind of weirdly. They disqualified after, throwing them into the staircase. I thought, usually they don't do that. Corey Graves was like, "Oh, I would have done the same thing if I was the referee because this is going to get crazy. I don't want any part of it." It was kind of, KO having that chair shot tease at the end. Exactly. And once again, at the end, I love the executive producer Seinfeld ending where you saw the text at the bottom of the screen. I thought that was kind of funny. You know what I mean? All right, guys, moving on. We have our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. It's on right now. I can't wait to watch it. I got it recorded. I have not checked a single shred of social media, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. Obviously, if you have something to talk about inside the chat for Monday Night Raw, obviously spoilers, it's okay. If it's something, if it's cool to kind of dive into, I'm all for it. So, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and don't go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage drama, curtain calls, talk about superstars in terms of, their inactive statuses, injury updates, also superstar contract negotiations, extensions, or signings. From promotions from WWE to AEW to New Japan Professional Wrestling, starred on the GCW, the NWA, for makes major news headlines inside the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show. So let's kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had our WWE Smackdown review, and now we're going to talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw. But before we do any of that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat, 1,010%. Thank you for tuning into the show. Of course, as always, if you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, or just something you're dying to get off your chest, here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears. This show's up, keeping you guys inside the loop, making it lively. Be part of the mix, guys. Send in those chats. Do not be shy, and it's gonna be awesome. And if you really want to make sure your comment or question gets noticed, why not use that super chat? It's a $sign below that chat box right there, and your comment, question, or concern will be guaranteed to be featured on the show so we can talk about it. Plus, it's a great way to support our channel. Your super chats definitely helps us keep the lights on for all these awesome podcasts so we can bring you guys even more awesome sports content for the future. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who join us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. And once again, if the super chat is not your thing, you can hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Give me some of your hot takes in terms of professional wrestling. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love, peace, love, and positivity 1,010% of the time. But of course, criticism, it happens. Feedback is a gift. Obviously, whatever you guys have to say is greatly appreciated. Can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. Make this podcast more interactive, a lot more fun, and just engaging with you guys would be totally sick with it. So, send in those chats. All right, so we're going to talk about some WWE Monday Night Raw, which is happening live tonight in my backyard. Just kidding. They're at the Toyota Arena in Ontario, California. I graduated from there. It's a pretty big venue. I've been there once for a SmackDown with my wife. It was cool. It's kind of a smaller venue. I think at most they can probably fit in like maybe 10,000 people, but no, I had no idea they were gonna be this close, to be honest. I feel like if I knew, maybe I would have got some tickets, get some of them good old-fashioned nosebleeds, just as long as you're there. Just as long as you're there and you're just feeling, the aura, you're feeling the vibes, all the wrestling fans, wearing their wrestling gear. You see the belts, you see the people having the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I wish I had. I wish I would have invested into buying the Money in the Bank briefcase at the gift shop. Although it is like 50 to like $70. I don't know exactly how much it costs. You could probably check on WWEshop.com, but it's a pretty penny, but it'd be so damn cool to have one of those. You know what I mean? Money in the bank, I'd bring it into work and be like, I'm cashing in my money. I'm just kidding, though. But no, just something dorky like that. Just kind of use it as a prop would be pretty sick. I think it'd be pretty awesome. All right, Raw. Raw in Ontario, California. Sami Zayn takes on Ludwig Kaiser. I think it's going to be a great match. I have a lot of respect for what Ludwig Kaiser is, his character inside of WWE right now, where he's still the hype man of Gunther. Having him, kind of turn against, his ring general is not in the foreseeable future anytime soon, I believe. I like them both together. I think they're a winning combination. Obviously, they did get rid of Giovanni Vinci out of Imperium, but overall, I like what Ludwig Kaiser's role is on WWE Raw. And Sami Zayn's still fighting. I think if he picks up the victory tonight, he definitely have a way to, call out Gunther, and be like, all right, you truly are scared. Just keep beating, Ludwig Kaiser. And, obviously I'm showing that I'm willing to go out there and put, kind of my heart on the line for your title. I can imagine Sami Zayn definitely kind of, playing into the rhetoric a little bit, kind of stringing those pathos, strings on that Gunther guitar, you know what I mean? Hoping that he gives him a shot. Like, what does Sami Zayn have to do for Gunther to, make a decision about Sammy? Because right now it's just running into a whole wall of no, 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 you don't deserve it. No, you don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, this being the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match at Bad Blood seems fitting. It seems like a good opponent for Gunther to fight at a PLE. That's, it's obviously not the big four, but it has the potential. They tore the house down at WrestleMania. Man, they had a great match. They had a really good match. Plus, this is kind of like a great way for Gunther to overall kind of prove it to himself. Because if you watch that match at WrestleMania, the reason why Gunther lost that WWE Intercontinental Championship was because, he underestimated Sami Zayn. You know what I mean? Like, he had him beat 1, 2, 3, and he kept going up to the top rope and, in front of Sammy's wife, making her, cringe and making her, obviously feel bad for her husband who's getting the crap beat out of him. But he had that match won. So maybe this could possibly be a way to Sami Zayn to kind of, go about this, to be like, look, Gunther, you had me beat. But the fact is, I got in your head. I came back, and that's what I do. Prove it to yourself that you can defeat me one-on-one for the championship. And, because I honestly don't see Gunther not fighting at Bad Blood. I don't see him, just having a PLE off. And Sami Zayn as well too. Like, he has to keep that momentum going because I don't know what his next booking is going to be. I don't know the next time he's going to get a championship shot because it seems like the only championship that's kind of in his future right now is maybe a WWE World Tag Team title run with the Yeet Man Jey Uso because he had his time as Intercontinental Champion. It was a good title run too. It wasn't bad. He had his glory. He defeated Bron Breakker the first time. Then Braun obviously came back the second time. And, fighting for the World Heavyweight Championship is a position where you never really thought you'd see Sami Zayn. So I think in and itself, just him kind of being in the match, Gunther picking up the victory seems like it's, that's impressive. That definitely toots the horns of wrestling fans to be like, you know what? Sammy, he's the real deal. He might have lost, but all in all, great match. It was a great match. Next, we find out what Drew McIntyre has to say after what CM Punk said. Last week in his promo saying that Drew McIntyre brought out the evil in him. Feels like this is it in Hell in a Cell. You're gonna have to kill me to stop me. So I can imagine Drew McIntyre kind of coming out, saying something along those same lines. I really hope there's no sneak attack by CM Punk. This is, they have, I think there's two more Raws. Yeah, I think there's two more Monday Night Raws until Bad Blood. So obviously we're going to get a contract signing next week. Should be pretty interesting. Well, I don't even know if it needs a contract signing without the title. Maybe a face to face would be interesting. It'd be pretty badass before Hell in a Cell. But Drew McIntyre, he has to cut a good promo. This is this is it. This is it because I think what was it, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, he cut a pretty good promo. And no, I think it was before the last PLE they had, and he did really, really well. And it kind of got me back into it, despite, the bracelet and the freaking, Larry, and you know what I mean? Like it kind of brought me back into it. Right now I'm kind of floating away from it. Obviously CM Punk said what he had to say last week. I honestly thought it was a good promo cut by him. You want to see that same, tenacity, that same, aspiration and determination from Drew McIntyre tonight on Monday Night Raw. So hopefully he cuts a good promo. Hopefully. Next, we have New Day drama. What's going to happen with the New Day? I I I'm 50-50 right now. For the longest time, I thought it'd be stupid to break up the New Day. Is it a possibility that, randomly Big E comes back? Maybe they get a second chance at the WWE Raw Tag Team titles at Bad Blood. And then at the end of the match, you see the Judgment Day. Either, they win, and then that's it for the New Day, or they lose. And then kind of this new rejuvenation of the New Day. I think it's going to be, pretty badass. If they include Big E somewhere in the storyline, I feel like that'd be awesome. I feel like that'd be awesome 1,010%. So all the brothers are there. Once when it's the power and the charismatic positivity that the New Day have every single day they show up on TV, they got to be together. I don't know. I see it could end good. I could see it end bad, but I don't know. Right now, I don't know. I just wouldn't see, especially at Kofi's, at his age and his career. Like I don't think he's going to have any WWE title runs. I honestly don't. Xavier Woods, yeah, I can probably see him contending for one. He would definitely make the WWE Intercontinental Championship division, a little more interesting because not a lot of people, see what he can do as a singles wrestler. The last time he was a singles wrestler, he did win the King of the Ring. So obviously he does have a lot of potential. But I just don't want to see it backfire. I don't want them to, break them up. And then later on, like a couple of weeks or even months down the line, the single storyline with Xavier Woods isn't working out. It just looks forced and terrible and garbage. And it's like, damn, like should have probably kept, should have, don't fix it if it ain't broken, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Next we have will Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley get revenge on Street Trash Judgment Day? After leaving them in the ring last week on Raw, just defeated in the middle of the ring. So we're gonna find out that. We have more Wyatt 6 teasers, maybe another QR code. Alexa Bliss is going to be on Raw. I feel like she is going to be on Raw. I feel like if she doesn't come back as a member of the Wyatt 6, it kind of seems like I don't know, it just doesn't seem like right. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't seem like it fits perfectly. I feel like she represents that character. When she did it with Bray Wyatt, she did very, very well. The fans were into it. So, I don't think it'd be kind of crazy. Will Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed be present tonight on Raw? Maybe they make a match for Bad Blood. The last man standing match would be pretty badass. I feel like that'd be pretty cool. And lastly, we have the main event, the WWE Intercontinental Championship match between the defending champion Bron Breakker taking on the challenger Jey Uso. This match was probably going to be 45 minutes. If it's anything under 30, I feel like, I don't know, this is like a main event PLE caliber match. You have, the unbreakable, the unpredictable, badass, a guy that WWE seems like they're heavily invested into both these superstars. Jey Uso has been waiting for a singles push for the longest time. Is he going to get his first singles championship? At this point, I feel like it's kind of owed at this point. But at the same time, you have all this momentum riding with Bron Breakker, but Jey Uso is extremely over with the crowd. It's crazy. I personally think this match is going to end with interference, and it's kind of sad and kind of sucks to say, but obviously what's going down with Jey Uso and Rhea Ripley and the Judgment Day, and it's just I don't know. I hope it doesn't. I hope it ends cleanly. Definitely under the new Triple H Paul Levesque era. You've seen a lot of matches, kind of end cleanly. You've seen no interference, no BS, no fancy stuff. Just some good old fashioned wrestling, which is good. Definitely, which is good. So I think right now WWE kind of owes it to the fans to kind of leave this match alone. Let these two guys go at it. Depends what decision they make. Who's going to be the Intercontinental Championship maybe tonight on Monday Night Raw. Right now, I'm honestly 50-50. I'm 50-50. Could be, I think whoever comes out the winner, obviously the Intercontinental Championship's going to have. It's going to be great. It's going to be great because Jey Uso's great. He's over. Bron Breakker's great, and he's over as well. So, it's kind of like a win-win situation right here. All right, next, guys, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our GCW polling. Zilla Fatu from all shows for the foreseeable future. We're going to get into that. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube. Absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, and welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain drama. We also talk about superstar news and injury updates and inactive statuses and stuff like that. From promotions from WWE to AEW to New Japan Professional Wrestling to the NWA. If it makes major headlines in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on the show. So it's kind of reflecting what we talked about real quick. We talked about our WWE Smackdown review. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw preview as well. So now we're going to get into our third segment. We're going to talk about GCW pulling Zilla Fatu from all shows for the foreseeable future. So, before we do that, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. Whether if you got a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling or just something you've been dying to get off your chest here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are all ears 1,010%. The show is it's all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure that your voice is, part of the mix. So don't be shy and drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on air, why not use that super chat box? It's that $sign below the chat box there. Go ahead and, type it in, send it in, and your message is guaranteed to be featured on the show. Plus, it's a great way to to support our channel, guys. So your support, your super chats helps us keep the lights on, bring you guys even more awesome sports content that you guys love so much. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. So let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Make sure, let's make this show bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome and together. We can do this. And if the super chat, once again, not your thing, you can hit up the GSMCpodcast.net, hit up that tips and donations link. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. just remember to Superman punch that like a subscribe button to the show. So follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. So make sure, yeah, don't be shy. Drop in those thoughts, those chats, and it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be sick. All right, so we're gonna talk about some Zilla Fatu being pulled from GCW. It's kind of ironic, especially at this time. For the foreseeable future, he could he be on his way to WWE sooner rather than later? I guess I heard from a source that he no-showed at a GCW event. Maybe that kind of created a little bit of turmoil between trying to get out of your contract because he's still doing wonders right now at Booker T's promotion right now. I think he actually holds a title or two. So, he's right there. He's right there. And Jacob Fatu, he worked with not Rikishi. Jacob Fatu worked with Booker T as well before he debuted on the main roster. So it's a possibility, it's a possibility that he could be heading toward WWE. It does seem definitely fitting as a member of the Anoa'i family. There's no doubt come Survivor Series he will be part of the Civil War, joining Roman, Jimmy and Jay, Solo, Jacob, and so many more that obviously, you have Hikuleo as well, Lance Anoa'i still in the mix. It's, possibilities, man. Possibilities for this Civil War that just has wrestling fans at the edge of your seat. And then, it should be great. Should be obviously what WWE is trying to do with that storyline. I don't think it can fail at this point. I like the way the direction it's going. I honestly think that this is going to make a lot of future stars for the WWE for the foreseeable future, like Jacob Fatu right now. He's on fire. He's killing it. Tama Tonga. Tongaloa, still needs a little work, maybe a little bit more of an adjustment. Kind of like what Rikishi said, that he feels like, Zilla Fatu could definitely be part of the mix in terms of the main roster, but you don't want to promote him too early because if he's promoted too early and he gives you, trash wrestling, misses his spots, misses his cue, can't cut a promo, you're kind of like this is exactly what you see with Tungaloa right now. No, he's receiving a lot of hate in like the professional wrestling mainstream media, saying that he's like, he botches everything and he's not the best, he's not the best, but hopefully within time he does better because right now, Tama Tonga, the way he is inside the ring, I like it. His mic skills, not too much. He did try to cut a promo on SmackDown, and Kevin Owens was like, "I don't think anyone's ever like cared about a word you said." Because the way he was talking, even for me, I was kind of like, "All right, yeah." And he kept talking. I was like, "All right, let's get to the point here. What's going on here?" And then like I don't know, it was it was kind of crazy. It was kind of funny, but I feel like that'll work in time. A lot, like I said, I do have a lot of respect for Tama Tonga. Tonga Loa I feel like does need a lot of work. Jacob Fatu is like being a star. He's being a star. He's outshining Solo Sikoa, much like WWE did not want to do, but they decided to take off. They flew this plane off the runway, maybe a bit too early, but it had to happen eventually. You know what I mean? It had to happen eventually. So let it happen. Let's work out the kinks. Let's find out exactly what's going on, what's wrong. With the miscues and the botches that Tungaloa has had, those are all fixable. Tama Tonga's, mic skills is fixable as well. Solo Sikoa right now, his credibility shot. He can't win a singles match without help, which is obviously that's exactly what the heel role plays inside WWE because a lot of times you did see Roman Reigns only picking up the victory because he had help. He had his he had his family, he had his boys, he had his right hand man, he had his enforcer. He also had Jimmy Uso. So obviously not the case anymore. Kind of crazy, but yeah. All right. So what GCW said, and I quote, in a message on Twitter, said, "We tried our best to avoid this situation, but we have reached an impasse. We wish him all the best." So it seems like right now they're kind of wiping Fatu off the plate, off the face of the earth in terms of game changing wrestling. His last match was September 15th. He defeated Gringo Loco. Fatu won the Reality of Wrestling Championship. in in WWE Hall of Famer Booker T's promotion back in August. Once again, kind of showing signs that he wants to be part of WWE. Every wrestler's dream is to kind of make it to the big stage, and I'm not trying to not trying to throw shade in any other wrestling promotion or anything like that because I like them all. I think they're all unique in their own way in New Japan Professional Wrestling, Stardom, the NWA, the GCW, TNA, NXT, AEW. Like they all have their unique way of attracting fans. So right now it's it's likely that he's probably going to make a debut at Survivor Series. Let's just say he does do that. Like let's just say that happens. Like I feel like um he'll be fine. I feel like he'll be fine. Like much to Rikishi's statement about him waiting a year. At this point, there's a lot of young talent on SmackDown right now that I don't think he would be the worst performer. Zilla would be definitely learning on a job. He's been impressive as hell. He definitely he comes from a wrestling family. Obviously the son of Umaga. He has a tattoo of him on his chest, which is actually kind of cool. I thought that was pretty badass. But just is it right? Is it the right time? That's all WWE is kind of like, kind of flirting with right now. Also, you do have, Hikuleo, has been, I think, not like he's been on the NXT roster, I guess, on the NXT internal roster, so he might start there, which I feel like would be great. I feel like if Zilla Fatu starts there as well, I feel like it'd be an absolute necessity. Young superstars, they need those reps. They need those practices. You know what I mean? Like, look at what happened with a lot of wrestlers that kind of skipped over and joined Raw or SmackDown, and then they just they didn't look good because they didn't really have any practice. Definitely within the women's division when Ronda Rousey debuted in WWE, is like, oh, her MMA background, she knows what she's doing. She'll be fine. Turns out that wasn't the case. She was hurting people inside the ring. She would miss her spots. She would miss her cues. It got to the point where like the other wrestler, whoever she faced, kind of had to, slow down the match, and you could tell she was slowed down. While Ronda was just like go, 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 and like not really like kind of like paying attention to what she was actually supposed to be doing inside the match. But I don't know. It's not Ronda Rousey. If she would have started in NXT, I definitely think things would have been a lot better. Obviously, what she revealed about not liking Vince McMahon. Obviously, that's kind of unavoidable. Kind of aspect. So maybe would have done nothing, but who knows? Who knows? But if Zila and also Hikuleo start in NXT, I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Them starting their own bloodline maybe would be pretty badass. Wouldn't hate on that idea. I think that I thought that'd be pretty cool. Fatu was performing at a GCW event in Cleveland, Ohio in August, the same time as SummerSlam. A lot of people saw him backstage. A lot of people thought it was going to be the time. A lot of people thought he was going to be, debuting on SummerSlam. Obviously, Roman Reigns, that's when he came back. And, a lot of stuff just floating around right now. There are no actual reports that GCW pulling Zilla Fatu is any indication that he signed with WWE officially. A lot of people kind of contemplate that he's going to, rejoin his tag team partner, his cousin Jacob Fatu, and join Solo Sikoa's bloodline. Or he makes it, or he joins Roman Reigns. Like it could possibly be that as well. He could be Roman Reigns' right hand man or his enforcer, either one of those. But definitely timing is of the essence with this. With Survivor Series, literally right around the corner. You have Bad Blood, you have Crown Jewel in November. You have about a stable like month and a half, essentially. Essentially you have a month and a half to kind of make things right, train this guy up as fast as you can if you want to make him a part of this bloodline civil war. Because if he's part of it, I guarantee you it's going to make it better. It's 1,010%. It's going to be better. It's going to be better. Right now, if you're WWE, like I said, you just got to assess the situation, find out if he's ready, because you don't want to promote somebody too fast. Then again, if you wait, when you be like, damn, like he's great, he could have, debuted a Survivor Series and kind of added a little bit more meat to this Bloodline Civil War, which is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be pretty badass. All right, so that was our third segment. Now we're going to jump on into our fourth segment. Will Nia Jax's her second title run be cut short by the WWE. I honestly hope it doesn't. I think she's she put in the work. She's putting the time in WWE, so I think WWE definitely owe her at least I don't know. I think right now in the women's division, so we'll get into it, as soon as we come back for the break. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, and we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring. If it makes major news inside the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show. So make sure you tune in daily to the GSMC Sports Network at 8 o'clock. You get to see your favorite professional wrestling fan. Would love to get to know you guys as well. Make sure you guys are still, dropping those thoughts, those chats inside that box right there. Hit up that super chat, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we'll make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about our fourth segment. We're going to talk about, will Nia Jax's title run be cut short? I'm on the side of Nia Jax here. I definitely hope that she has a healthy, long title run. I really honestly can't see her losing the belt anytime soon. Even if you see a surprise, return or like a WWE debut or signing or anything like that. Once again, we still have Stephanie Bakura still, kind of lingering in the wicks. Find out what's going to happen with her WWE Smackdown run there. But as in terms of future bookings for Nia Jax, Nia Jax has that it factor to her. She has that that badass mentality. She's big, she's bad, she's strong, she's amazing inside the ring, and she could back up her stuff. So the way her character is in WWE right now, you can basically mesh well with any storyline possibly. She's hated enough for the all the babyface audiences to boo her, but then she's liked enough by the heel audiences, so like she's cheered for. Like she's that perfect, like, you kind of don't want to root against her, you know what I mean? Like I feel I get those vibes every single time I watch one of her matches. Every single time I see her cut a good promo, I'm like, you know what? Like you can't really hate this girl. This girl is this girl is WWE. This is exactly who, what she was made to do. And she could have had a lot more success in WWE, but once again, when it comes to like, plus or sized athletes, even in the men's division as well. They don't really pull the trigger on so much of a long title run, like you've seen with the Big Show, like you saw with with Keith Lee and Viscera, and with the Viking Raiders. You see all these big people, these, and then like when I mean big people, I mean like their physicality is like off the charts, and they're amazing athletes still. It's it's hard to book them. It's hard to book them. It's not like having a champion like Bayley, which, you can kind of put her up against anybody. Kind of put her up against anywhere and she's going to have a good match. Nia Jax is kind of like that, but inside the ring, every single match, she kind of fights. Like it's, back and forth a little bit. Mostly she has control. The other superstar can't really perform a lot of moves that, other fights could possibly have. So your game in terms of the match is kind of not really versatile. Like if you go up for a top rope maneuver, 50%, you can't lift her up. Hitting a submission is very rare. Well, Becky Lynch did it pretty well when they had their fights, when they were feuding. So I think it's plausible, but I don't know, right? It's hard for booking. It makes it a little difficult when you have such a dominant champion, kind of like you had when Brock Lesnar as well. When he was the WWE Universal Champion, where do you go against people like Finn Balor and AJ Styles? And he made them look good. They put up a good fight, but at the end of the day, you kind of watched and you're like, oh god, like we all know what's gonna happen. They don't even look like they're phasing Brock. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I think it's I definitely think she deserves more. I definitely think this second run. I hope it lasts. I hope Tiffany Stratton doesn't cash in on her. I feel like that'd be I feel like that would suck. That would be awful. It'd be good for Tiffany, it'd be good for Tiffany, but Nia, I just hope that she has the title a little longer than what people anticipate. All right, Nia Jax defeated Bayley to win her WWE Women's Championship at SummerSlam. She's only had two title runs. The first title run came in 2018 when she defeated Alexa Bliss at WrestleMania 34. But according to her, winning on the grandest stage of them all, just to kind of give it back to Alexa Bliss 70 days later after she cashed in her Money in the Bank. She Alexa Bliss cashed in that same night. We had that match between Ronda Rousey and Nia Jax. Nia Jax in an interview compared the two title runs and stated that her second title reign kind of surpasses her inaugural one, which is kind of crazy. And she said, and I quote, when I first won the title, it was a great moment against Alexa Bliss. We had an amazing storyline. It was more of a shock to me. We had Ronda coming in and more, and there were so many other factors kind of going on. I, didn't really get to kind of soak in. I feel this one has meant so much more. So, she's kind of feeling this title reign as well, and she should. Well, like I said, I hope it's here to stay. Right now, anybody on the SmackDown roster really can't, handle Nia Jax. Not Mi Chin, not not Bianca or not Jade. Well, it'd be kind of interesting to see Jade, kind of going there because I think she did eliminate her in the Royal Rumble, but there's not really anybody that can handle her stuff. You know what I mean? Obviously, if Alexa Bliss comes back, she could. But I doubt she's going to come back to SmackDown. I more or less she's probably going to be part of the White Six kind of storyline here. But Nia Jax defeated Lyra Valkyrie to be crowned the 2024 Queen of the Ring. Recently, Jax appeared on on Unlikely with Adrian Hernandez, and she named a multi-time former WWE Women's Champion Becky Lynch as one of the greatest to kind of do it at all time. Showing that she does have respect for her peers, showing that when she's inside the ring, it's not all about let's go out there and get mine. You know what I mean? Let's go out there, and essentially have a great match. She seems like she's very supportive of the superstars inside, inside the squared circle and also behind the locker room. It seems like she's very liked. I've sneaked a couple of peeks at Total Divas when she was inside, and of course, exiting kayfabe and stuff like that. It seemed like deep down inside, her family's been around professional wrestling her whole entire life, and it's from a person or from a wrestler that has not really had that much success, in her career. It doesn't really seem like she's like entitled, if that makes sense. I'm not sure if, she's not really entitled. She's not be like, I'm The Rock's cousin. Give me a title run or I'm going to quit. I'm leaving. I'm all elite, baby. No, it's not like that. You know what I mean? She kind of has a bigger, broader picture, kind of thinking outside the box mentality, which is very rare because a superstar of her status could definitely twist a couple arms and to have a great contract, or can, maybe, like the NFL players have, where they kind of hold out just for, better storylines and bookings. Nia Jax has an immense respect for Triple H and what he wants to do with her character. And I feel like within the last 3 or 4 years, I think she's finally getting rewarded. I think Paul Levesque's going to keep the belt on her probably till Mania. Right now, I wouldn't, like I said, I don't see anybody on the SmackDown roster. I think in terms of her title run being cut short, a recent report from ad hashtag PWN reports four-time women's champion Charlotte Flair is expected to remain on WWE SmackDown upon her return, kind of having this queen versus queen kind of storyline. And, but when it comes to WWE, it's, they kind of bend head, they kind of fall head over heels for Charlotte Flair. They love themselves some Charlotte Flair. I just hope I hope she doesn't lose to Charlotte. But there's been a couple of times where Charlotte Flair has came back from a hiatus, if it was either injury or vacation or whatever, and and they gave her the belt. There's all right here, represent our brand a little bit, which isn't dumb. It's not like it's a dumb idea to have Charlotte Flair represent your women's division because out of all the women inside WWE, when you say the word Charlotte Flair, people actually notice. You know what I mean? People actually understand that name. They know it's wrestling. They respect Charlotte Flair. So in terms of like name, image, and likeness, and bringing more attention to WWE, I can understand putting the strap on Charlotte Flair. But at the same time, Nia Jax, like I said, this could ultimately make her career as well. Because she was gone off of WWE for quite some time. I actually did think her and Tamina left for greener pastures somewhere, and I wouldn't have blamed her. I thought they were all done with Nia Jax, and then Nia Jax came back, and I was like, all right, let's do this. Like, what's going to happen next? And a couple of bad bookings, storylines where she was still this big, this strong girl that looked absolutely dominant, and people asked themselves, man, this girl's going to be a future WWE Women's Champion. And then they would book her in matches where she would just look weak and kind of put over her opponents. And they're like, man, had the audience like talking to themselves like, this girl, she's not a future WWE Women's Champion, and I think that's a damn shame. I think it kind of sucks. And like I said, I think she deserves the best. And her win, be having a feud with Charlotte Flair and ultimately overcoming it and being the one left standing could do wonders for her career. 1,010%. It'd be great. It'd be great for her just as much as putting the belt back on Charlotte. Kind of having this new unpredictable, kind of just like this different sort of WWE. You've never really had anybody, at least on the SmackDown side, kind of hold a title belt kind of hostage. Rhea Ripley on Monday Night Raw had the WWE World Women's Championship in a stranglehold for the longest time because, she was absolutely, dominant as well. She was very dominant. And, winning the belt from Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. I personally thought it would be kind of cool if Charlotte Flair, debuted, make it back to Monday Night Raw, feud with Rhea Ripley kind of being the reason why, Liv Morgan retains the title. But, like who knows? Like right now it's, storyline's still up in the air. And like, I hope WWE, just based on their reputation, I kind of thought to myself and I was like, what sucked if they kind of cut Nia Jax's title run short again. Because they love themselves some Charlotte Flair, you know what I mean? But this Queen versus Queen storyline is definitely in the future, 1,010%. And Bayley, obviously, you saw on SmackDown a double pin. Now she's fighting Naomi on SmackDown this week to find out who will fight Nia Jax at Bad Blood. Obviously, I feel like Bayley's going to win. It's more likely for her to fight Nia Jax because they just have more history, kind of more bad blood. If Naomi wins, and she's staring at Nia Jax, from the opposite side of the ring, you don't really get this like bad blood mentality. You know what I mean? You don't really get this like, I don't know. I don't know. It would be interesting to kind of see, the match end in a tie. So like, maybe you have a triple threat match. That would be, that'd be pretty interesting as well. But as of right now, I think Bayley's going to be the next one to challenge for Nia Jax's WWE Women's Championship. All right, guys, that was my fourth segment talking about some Nia Jax. I love myself some Nia Jax. Nia Jax is cool as hell. And we're going to talk about The Rock. Everybody knows the show Hot Ones. Hot Ones wants the most electrifying man in sports entertainment on their show. Will he say yes? He had one requirement on saying that he's going to go on if they do this one thing, and I'm going to share when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere. All right, all right, all right. Welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific time, 11 p.m. Eastern time, here to talk about everything in terms of professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about real quick in this podcast. We talked about our WWE Smackdown review. We had our WWE Monday Night Raw preview. We talked about the GCW letting go of Zilla Fatu, essentially. And we also talked about Nia Jax's second title run. I hope WWE doesn't cut short. We talked about, her title run, maybe some possibilities, some storylines to kind of keep it going till Mania. But I don't know, it's just something that I would definitely love in this foreseeable future is Nia Jax, the WWE Women's Champion, and still, I think that'd be pretty badass. All right, finally, we're gonna talk about The Rock. If you smell what The Rock is cooking, I'm just kidding, no. He has one of the best theme songs, man. I swear to God. Like definitely some you love and respect. I love myself some Dwayne Rock Johnson from his movies, from his fun personality, from his workout regimen. I'm just kidding though. If I did it, I would probably die. I'd probably die. But anyways, so host Sean Evans has found great success with his talk show Hot Ones. Obviously, I was talking about it earlier in the podcast. Have you guys ever watched that show? It's pretty badass, where he kind of sits down and eats spicy wings with his while interviewing his guest, and and the spiciness is just increasing. Eating increasing levels of hot, spicy sauce, ghost pepper, Caroline pepper. There's so many different peppers. Like I had no idea was out there. That's insane. And he performs an interview. I think that's kind of cool. Maybe one episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast, I'll just be dousing myself with hot wings and just slobbering all over the mic for you guys to see. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm terrible. But the show has featured some high profile names inside pop culture from Hugh Jackman, Ariana Grande, Ryan Reynolds to Shaquille O'Neal. The Rock has yet to appear on the show, and also WWE stars as well. You had Mankind, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Sasha Banks when she was with WWE. You had the Bella Twins, you had Big E and Goldberg, and it's just fun. It's just fun to watch these interviews and stuff like that. It's kind of cool. Will The Rock be the next one? I hope he will. I think that'd be pretty badass. In a recent interview with Bloomberg, Evans said he's been trying to get The Rock to appear on his show for years, but instead of wings, Dwayne The Rock Johnson will only accept salmon strips. Obviously, huge fish guy. He's a huge fishing fanatic. Definitely, on YouTube you can find Sean Evans, kind of attempt The Rock's diet, and it's crazy. It is literally insane. He consumes fish along with enormous amounts of calories and multiple meats throughout the day. He has, I'll just go through some of the meals we have here. Meal 1, 10-ounce cod, 2 whole eggs, 2 cups of oatmeal. All right, that's okay. So eating every 2 hours. Meal 2, 8 ounces of cod, 12 ounces of sweet potato, 1 cup of vegetables. All right, meal 3, an 8-ounce chicken, 2 cups of white rice, a cup of vegetables. All right. So I think by that time I'd be done. It feels like I'd be so overfilled with food. I probably wouldn't even be able to breathe or walk or do anything like that. Kind of crazy. Next, meal 4, 8-ounce cod, 2 cups of rice, 1 cup of vegetable, a tablespoon of fish oils. All right. So far we got, we're on the white diet. We got fish and we got chicken. And meal 5, now we're going to get to some steak. We got an 8-ounce delicious steak with a 12-ounce of baked potato. Damn. And a spinach salad. All right. Meal 6, 10-ounce cod, 2 cups of rice, salad. Oh my God. And meal 7, 30 grams of casein protein, a 10 egg white omelet with onions, peppers, and mushrooms, 1 cup of veggies, and 1 teaspoon of omega-3 fish oils. Wow. Oh my God, this guy. Well, look at the size of him. You know what I mean? This guy, he works out 2 or 3 times a day. He has an amazing body. He has an amazing work ethic. He's successful as hell. So if you have all that free time to just work out and eat and just put into work, and he still does. 1,010% The Rock does, and he's a great guy too. 1,010%. He's definitely been a huge huge influence on potential WWE fans for the future. recently, you kind of had that, you kind of had that with, that stint with Cody Rhodes, about the final boss, and he was just beating the holy hell out of him, making him bleed. And, people still couldn't help but to cheer for The Rock when he came out. So the point where they're like, all right, we like Cody, but we love ourselves some Dwayne The Rock Johnson. I hope he does do the show. That would be super sick. I would love that. That'd be so awesome, man. Oh my God. Because Hot Ones is it's just so unique. You know what I mean? I watched a couple of them today, in the spirit of this segment. I watched, the Stone Cold Steve Austin one, the Mick Foley one. I watched the Truth or Dab with the Bella Twins. And it was just, it's cool. It's a good watch. Definitely recommend it 1,010%. If you don't have any free time, or if you have some free time, maybe you're, just chilling out, sitting in the DMV office waiting for your number to be called. So in that case, you have like 5 hours to kill some time. You can always watch first and foremost the GSMC Sports Network, 1,010%, or you can check out some Hot Ones. You know what I mean? I would love to go on Hot Ones. Should probably get my PR rep out there and talk to Sean Evans. I'm just kidding. No, I would not even last it because I think there's 10 sauces. I think it's 10. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. I think after 3 or 4, I'd be done. It's crazy. It's crazy how you get older and your body changes and you can't eat spicy foods like you used to. You can't eat pizza anymore. Can't, oh my God, like all this acid reflux, like something that you didn't really think that you were going to have to deal with once when you kind of grew up. But guess what? That is life. That's exactly what happens and it's great. I love the taste of Alka-Seltzer, 1,010%. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know, just The Rock. I hope he does make it on Hot Ones. Be pretty badass. Salmon strips sound good too. With buffalo sauce though, it's not really buffalo. It's just like hot sauce. I could see because for some of his vegan guests on Hot Ones, he does offer cauliflower wings, and it serves its purpose. At the end of the day, you just kind of need something to munch on just so you can put the sauce on it, and and it's just a good watch. It's kind of cool. So I also found out today The Rock sleeps 3 to 5 hours a day. That's insane. People usually recommend 7 to 9 hours a day is ideal, but I guess it all, everybody's body's different. Everybody's regimen is different. Everybody's life is different, man. It's crazy. Everybody's different routine. I know some people who wake up like 4:30 in the morning and go running, which I wish I could do. But I don't know. It's just so hard, man. Like, it's so crazy. It's hard for me to get to sleep. But then, like, once when I'm sleeping, like, it's like, I don't want to get up. Like, it's crazy. But I don't know. It's kind of crazy. His morning starts every day at 3:30 a.m. That is insane in the membrane. Man, getting up before 6:30 or 7 sometimes seems like a chore. I'm just kidding. No, but no, actually it does. It's kind of sad. Uh, but but yes, I will be trying the Dwayne The Rock Johnson's meal plan. No, I'm just kidding. I don't want to do that. Obviously he's a very unique. God, that's so much fish. Oh my God. I like cod. Cod's all right. I can deal with cod. Tilapia is good. I'm more of a salmon guy myself. I dig some salmon. I hate sushi. I don't get how people can eat sushi. It's crazy. But I don't know. But I hope he makes it on the podcast. I think it's gonna be great. I think it'd be great for WWE, especially heading toward their deal with Netflix, and you're gonna be seeing a lot of WWE content streaming on Netflix pretty darn soon. So make sure, if you're not subscribed to Netflix right now, obviously we did hear that they're no longer WWE as of on Wednesday will no longer be on Hulu anymore. So, which kind of sucks. I remember I used to always work 2 to 10 on my job before this. And I would always watch SmackDown like the next day because I get home, I'd be like, tired as hell. Kick off my shoes. I'm like, dude, like I'm going to sleep. You know what I mean? And on Peacock, it is available, but essentially it's available 30 days after its initial broadcasting, which sucks. It's kind of crazy. Makes it seem like it's kind of hard to keep up with WWE content. But overall, I think it's going to work out. It always does. It always does. Well, guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate podcast. That's it for me today. Make sure you Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show, follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity. Follow us on Twitter /X Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, we have my boy Emran's GSMC Soccer podcast coming up in about 16 minutes. So make sure you stay tuned for that. We got 2 football podcasts. The NFL is heating up right now after week 3. Just got done. And we'll hearing the rest of Monday Night Football. The Bengals almost came back, man. It's crazy. What happened to the Jaguars? Man, what is going on with the Jaguars? The Buffalo Bills seem like they're all on a whole nother level this season. It's insane. But if you want to find out all the major news updates in terms of the NFL, tune into Manny's Chip Shot Football Podcast and Kenny's GSMC Football Podcast. We got a basketball podcast with my boy Nelson. When it comes to fantasy sports, we got Chris Shepard talking all your NFL stuff, talking your stardoms, your sit-ems, who to pick up off a waiver wire, what you can do to make sure you are the star, make sure you are the WWE champion in your fantasy league. So make sure you listen to a couple pointers he has there. He's a pretty awesome podcast. We got all around sports. We have Sports by GSMC with Jeremy. We have the GSMC Sports Podcast with TJ. We also have college sports, college on Saturdays. It's fire. It's fire. Starting to get into college football, slowly but surely, taking baby steps. And, I'm a Texas Longhorns fan as of like 3 weeks ago. So, let's go Longhorns. I'm just kidding. I bet you a lot of Longhorn fans out there is like, man, what a poser. I'm just kidding. Which all means, I'll take the criticism. I'll take it, but they're doing good this year. And if they win the national title, if they win the Natty, I could be like, dude, I was the good luck charm. I was the fan that they needed this whole entire time. I'm just kidding. No, I don't think of myself that highly, I'm just kidding. But anyways, like I said, that's it for me. Make sure you tune into the GSMC college football podcast with my boy Tommy. Make sure you tune into all those awesome podcasts because these guys are amazing. I watch them. Of course, I watch them, get a couple of pointers. I learn a lot from watching them as well. So, just lucky to have sports blessed in my life, thanks to the GSMC Sports Network. All right, guys. So that's it for me. Have an amazing Monday. I know it is Monday, but hang in there. We have all week wrestling to tune into, so don't be too somber. Stay beautiful, like always. Live.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great.